Thanks for tuning in to another show, another segment of Incarceration to Incorporation. I'm AB, the founder and the CEO. I got my co-host with me, Julius Hall. We're gonna talk about a whole lot of issues today, dealing with a lot of things that's going on in society, dealing with incarceration process and dealing with situation that's going on out here, the police, and we just gonna talk it out, man. I got a few guests in on the show today. We're gonna introduce them, and we're gonna come on and talk about a whole lot of a whole lot of. I wanted to curse, but you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it PG. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk a lot, man. Incarceration to incorporation is a program that I started, man. Is to help those that have been incarcerated, transition back into society. And what this show is, Incarceration to Incorporation, this particular show is where I bring on individuals like yourselves to talk about the transition back into society and some of the things that you've done in the community that will uplift people, that will help people that have gone down that prison pathway. So we're going to get right into it, gentlemen. We're going to introduce each and every one of you. I know Mr. Campbell, you've been on already. You the new host, the new co-host. So got to chop it up with you. You got a lot to talk about. I know Joey's got a lot to talk about, and Mr. Pollard, he said he want to go by Mo. We're gonna talk to Mo. We're gonna talk to Dr. Garrett. Dr. Garrett got a lot of going on, a lot of things going on with his organizations and things of that sort. So we're gonna get right into it. Julius Hall, what's happening, my brother?
Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Y'all know we here every Friday, 6 p.m. Our new co-host is Julius Campbell, the minister. He keep me and AB in check. But we welcome everybody and we thank you for tuning in. Just share. It might can help somebody because we know that the prison system and incarceration hits everybody's house. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we cut down on the recidivism rate by giving people coming home, those individuals coming home, a outlet where they can get information, where they can get the resources, so they can touch base, so we can keep them from going back in and being productive citizens. So we thank everybody for appearing. We try to get everybody. It's called Incarceration to Incorporation for a reason. You know, you don't really have to start a business, but we know that if you stay out of prison, that's part of your business. So we got some great guests on today with Dr. Garrett and with Mo Pollard, both doing some awesome things, and people need to hear about the things that they're doing. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to Mr. Campbell, and he'll introduce the two guests.
Well, first of all, how you gentlemen doing? You hear me clear? I'm coming to you from Miami, Florida, so I got an opportunity to have a little bit of vacation time, so I'm blessed. And I'm just grateful to give my brothers an opportunity to come on and share with the world what they are doing. So often when we leave prison, we tend to forget about those that we have left behind, but not these two men. These two men, when they came home, they continued in that fight for our brothers and our sisters behind the walls. So I'm just a little brief intro on myself, and then I'm gonna let the men go ahead and tell us who they are as well. Again, Julius Campbell. I did 26 years incarcerated here in the Georgia prison system. But when I came home, I connected with AB and with Julius, and these men have given me a platform to be able to sound the horn, if you will, for help for our brothers and our sisters, so that when they come home, their transition will be just as smooth as ours has been. And that is why we've invited Dr. Garrett and Brother Mo on. They're going to share with us what their dreams have been, what their hurdles have been, what their successes are, but also some of their smooth transition as well. So I don't want to take up too much time. I'm going to start with Dr. Garrett. Dr. Garrett, tell us who you are and bring this thing into what you do.
How's everybody doing tonight? I'm delighted to be a part of what is this, Incarceration to Incorporation? Am I saying it right? Did I get it right?
Yes, sir.
I've been following y'all a little bit, so I got the name right. But I'm glad to be with you. Again, my name is Ron Garrett. I'm a returning citizen. I did a little short missionary journey. I call it, in the Georgia Department of Corrections. I just did a little short 20 years. Nothing like Julius's experience. But nevertheless, during the time I was in the system, I noticed right off that there was no reentry program, and there was nothing in place to prepare those who were incarcerated to be successful when the day comes that we were going to be released. And so we began working with a number of brothers and writing petitions, writing the governor, writing the commission, everybody we could think of to talk about allowing us the opportunity to start a reentry program within the system. And so that has now developed in the Georgia Department of Corrections to there's now 18 dorms that have what we call a faith and character dorm, which is a 1-year reentry program in the Georgia Department of Corrections. In 2011, we were also charged with the responsibility of leading a core group of men to open the first faith and character-based prison in the state of Georgia. It was a 400-bed facility, a 2-year reentry program, and it's been one of the most delightful experiences I've ever been able to take part in. Understanding going in that I had 20 years to serve on my missionary experience, and that's exactly the way that I approached it. I began looking for opportunities to. We've all heard the phrase, "Do the time, don't let the time do you." Right, and so we was able to enroll in a bachelor's degree program for theology. Earned a bachelor's degree in theology in 2003, a master's in ministry in 2009, and a doctorate in ministry in 2012. For the purpose, I knew that when the day comes to get out, I knew I wanted to be involved with providing effective and efficient reentry programming for men and women that were coming home or coming back into society. And so, by the grace of God, been given that opportunity to serve first with Catholic Charities as the regional reentry coordinator for Washington, D.C. I did that for the first 2 years that I was out of the system. And then here it's only been since March the 1st, I've been named the director of the Bridge Center at Adams House, which is a one-stop shop for returning citizens, veterans, and 18 to 24-year-olds in Prince George's County, Maryland. So we're truly having a ball, and the deal is I just don't never, like Julius, and I've heard several of you say, after being inside of that box, there's no way we can be in a place like that and come out here to the free world and forget about our brothers and sisters that are coming out behind us. We're just trying to help be a part of the process of making a smooth path of transition for everybody.
Speaking of smooth, Dr. Garrett, tell the people, how smooth of a transition was it for you, or was it like a hard obstacle to you know what I mean? Because I know the transition.
He was about to, I forgot, I think it was you that said it earlier, AB. You about to make me cuss. Coming out here starting out on thing, man of God, and y'all got me on this show, getting ready to expose everything. But look at here. The whole time I was on the inside, 18 of the 20 years that I served as a chaplain's assistant. So I was a familiar when it came time for guys to get out of prison. They had did the hard work to get themselves together. But there were so many that did not have the family support when they were being released. There wasn't nobody there to pick them up. There wasn't nobody there to help them get clothes and have a place to stay until they could get on their feet. And I committed myself that when my day came to get out of there, that I wanted to be a part of making sure that having a place to stay, a job to work, when people get out, that is what I wanted to be a part of. But you asked me about my transition. I'm not even gonna lie. I wish I could tell you that it was bad, but it was not, because I just happened to have nothing that I did, nothing that I deserved. I was born into a super blessed family that didn't give up on me. They didn't turn their back on me. So the day that I was released, my mother, father, my brother, my wife, my sons, 2 church families, and some mentors from the community were all there at the transition center on the day that I got out. And can you imagine this? They told me eating breakfast that morning, I'm trying to figure out when I'm gonna go work. They said, you ain't finna get no job. Can you imagine that? You are not getting ready to go to work. You don't have to work yet. You need to take you 3 or 4 months and get used to being out here. And that's not everybody's story. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Some people got to have a job in the next 2 weeks, or I may not have no place to stay. That's why I know for a fact the work that we do, it is my passion, because I know that there's nothing that I have been blessed to receive in my reentry. It's nothing that I did to deserve it. It's all by the grace of God, and I'm just trying to give back to others.
All right. That's a good testimony. Good testimony, yeah, man. Good testimony. Any questions?
Brother Paul?
Say what? How?
I was saying, okay, Brother Paula, tell us about you and all the great things that you're doing in the community.
Yes. Well, brothers, first of all, thank y'all for giving me an opportunity. I was released January the 10th, 2000.
Okay.
I did 13 years, fed time, first time offender. And in my incarceration, at this time from the 89 to 2088, they still had educational programs in the federal prison system. So I took advantage of those programs and I got in depth into coping with confinement. I started this program, which was called Coping with Confinement, teaching guys how to not blame anyone else, but accept responsibility so you can move on. Because sometimes we put these hurdles in front of us and it kind of hold us stagnant. Well, after that, we started this ministry where, and foremost, just to give a tap, I was sentenced and convicted at the same time that Jim Baker was. We was in Charlotte, North Carolina together. He was in courtroom A, I was in courtroom B, possession by the same judge within the hour from his conviction to mine. We was in Jessup, Georgia together. So he wanted to stay in contact with me. And when we got there, he brought his resources in, which I used to bring brothers in, because you know how we are. We just, that ain't for me. That ain't for me. But you don't see the big end on when you get out of here, what are you going to do? You see, and as Dr. Garrett said, you don't have no one to go to. So if you don't prepare yourself, then it's going to be trouble when you get to the other end of that sentence. So what I did was I took a different title than you did, Dr. Garrett. I called it, I was in the university, because I was learning something new about me and the system at the same time, parallel, so life would be a smoother transition. Now, after doing my time and getting out, I have a great support system with a mother, and at the time my father was still living, and siblings. But I'm an individual, so I'm always going to go out there and try to make it happen for myself. I'm never going to sit back and wait on anyone to do anything if I can manage it myself. And I did that. I was told that I couldn't receive my CDL license. I did that in the first 3 years of me being free. I was told I couldn't get my TWIC card. Well, in the 4th year, I received my TWIC card and had all these pieces of paper and identification that people said I could not obtain. Well, once you are released and you satisfy your probation time, there's only 12 months, and then you can apply for anything that you really want, job related. Now, politically, that's a different story. But now that I'm free and I've been on a tear for the last 16, going on 17 years in the community. So in 2004, I started my own community outreach where I went back into the same neighborhood that I was doing wrong in to make it right. So I give out school supplies every year. I give out, and I mean all the school supplies. I feed the community every month, which is next week, Wednesday on the 28th. I have another food giveaway. I do it at Alfred Eli Beach High School. And I don't give brown bags. When I say food, I give away food. If y'all come out and check it, you're going to have a grocery bag, and you got to know how to cook if you come to Mr. Mo food giveaway, because I give you food. I don't give you sandwiches. I don't give you bags of rice and peanut butter and jelly. No, you get that on the side.
What they getting, Mo? They getting fruits and vegetables.
Yes, sir. And you gonna have to cook them. They gonna be raw.
Right.
Whole chicken.
And your chicken gonna be bloody, so you gonna have to put it in the stove. So it ain't gonna be fried chicken from Kentucky Fried Chicken or Popeyes or nothing like that. You got to be on the stove.
Mo,
So
what you say?
Invite Brother Campbell out to come Wednesday so he can help us also if he back in town.
Yes, it'll be at Beach High School. Alfred Eli Beach it's on Hopkins Street. It's 2001 West Hopkins Street. Alfred Eli Beach High School.
Yeah, I went to Beach, so I know.
You already know.
Put that information in the chat. I will be there.
Okay, I'll be there 8 o'clock in the morning to do my setup, and I start distributing and dispersing around 10:30, 11 o'clock. But I have at least my turnout on an average would be from 250 to 300 vehicles.
Wow.
Every time. I'm that guy in the hood, and I try to make sure that I bless them all. Seniors and babies are my heart, and this will be my 17th year doing it, and that's what God has led me to do, and I have not steered away from it as of. So that's me.
I like what you say, Mr. Mo, because you said something specifically. You said that it was a university for you, your journey, and you were preparing yourself for what you are doing now. I want you to speak, you and Dr. Garrett. I'll let Dr. Garrett go first, and then you come. You said that you prepared yourself. Dr. Garrett, I read here that you had the privilege of doing a TED Talk, and you prepared that for your transition and what you're doing here. Speak to us a little bit about your TED Talk, and then, Brother Moore, you speak about the way you prepared yourself also in your university time.
Well, it was really interesting because during my time at the regular prison, like I said, I served in chaplaincy and ministry, so was always involved with leadership of the church and whatnot. Have a calling to preach the word of God. And just when we went to what we call in Georgia the transition center, I was blessed to get a 450. My first church appointment was 450 congregations. Fresh out of prison. That's awesome, ain't it? I had to clean up after them, Julius. I had to feed them, Julius. We had to bathe them when they got sick. We had to take care of them. God gave me as my first congregation 450 baby cows to take care of. I was working on a dairy farm, gentlemen. Yeah, I loved it. And so when I heard about the opportunity to share with this TED Talk, I said, well, when they asked me, I said, well, first of all, I'm still in prison. They're not going to take me to no TED, but you can't say what God won't do. Right. The commissioner approved for them to take me from Augusta, Georgia to Atlanta, Georgia to Emory University for the thing. But in my preparation, I had to go out every morning and work on the dairy. So I had my TED Talk written out, Julius. I had pages taped up around my little place where I worked. And I worked on one page at a time, and I would recite it and then go to another page. And that's how I learned and prepared to share my TED Talk out there feeding the baby cows. I had to multitask.
What's the name of your TED?
The name of it, very good. Permission to Dream Again, the Impact of Addiction on Mass Incarceration. And the reason I chose that is because there are countless numbers of individuals that are incarcerated today. They're not criminals. I wouldn't even say I was a criminal. I was a drug addict. I was an alcoholic. I can claim that. You with me? And there are so many people that's the reason, that's the root cause that people are in prison is because of the addiction. And the thing that I couldn't understand is why during this 20-year period of time, why haven't you all put me in a program or something so I can get some help for the real reason that brought me here in the first place? Right. And I think that's one of the number one things that needs to change about the prison system. We need to deal with the root cause of the individual being there. Whatever the crime that was committed, what was the reason for it? What was the root of it? Right. And that is why I chose that topic.
Okay. And
Mr. Mo?
that lined up what I was saying earlier about the class I set up, was called Coping with Confinement. I was given the opportunity because my background was, I graduated from high school. I had a 4-year scholarship for Army ROTC. I graduated out of the top 11 students in the state of Georgia, not Savannah, Georgia, the whole state of Georgia.
Great.
In ROTC, military school. They wanted me to go to college and all that. I opted out to go to the streets. That's my situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I took what they taught me and showed other brothers that with a little bit of discipline, with a little bit of sacrifice for yourself, not for me, but for yourself, to yourself, you can achieve things that no one else thought you could, even you. So while I was there, it gave me an opportunity to expand myself, as well as being in Atlanta Penitentiary. They let me go out in the community, and I was always, I was a high severity case, so they kept me secured and all that. But they took me to 4 colleges, and I spoke in front of college students about me being a student just like you, but one day turned my whole life around, and I never recovered because I had no one to pull me back and say, hey, man, you're going the wrong direction. You're using your energy and talent the wrong way. Sure, now when I look back, I could say I would never tell you something that's going to be sugar-coated. Because, see, we get lost in that sugar-coated life. Oh, it's going to be all right. Oh, don't worry about it. No, brother, this is what you're up against. And this is what you're going to have to deal with if you take this road. See, reality check starts when we tell children the truth. So when I was standing in front of 1,100 students at Georgia Tech, and I had to tell them that me and you friends right now, but when them blue lights come on, that's when your friendship gonna separate, and you're gonna find out how this thing gonna go for real. Life turns in an instant, but we keep coming back to the same energy of saying, oh, this my homeboy, oh, this my homeboy. But what energy are you getting from that? Is it positive or is it negative?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So my energy is this. We can communicate, but if your energy ain't positive, the communication gonna stop right there. I'm gonna go my way, and I'm gonna allow you to go your way. That's what we have to do as brothers.
That's personal, Mo. That's personal too.
And it's personal. Right.
Yeah, that's personal.
Because guess what? The principle of all us being on this Zoom together, we are all black men. And we got to stop using the E and go back to using the A. Because see, A is personal. Because you're an individual. When you put E in it, men, that's a group. And if the group ain't positive, I don't want to be a part of it. I got friends I've been friends with 30 plus years. And they will tell you, we're going to talk right here. But you're going to go your way, and I'm going to go my way. Because I'm a man, M-A-N, and I'm going to make my decision based on what I know is right for me. So once we get past that hurdle, like the doctor said, he had a problem. And he had to deal with the problem first before he can do anything else. So that's what we have to teach these guys. You got to go back to the problem. Stop making up this excuse about I didn't have a daddy. Well, hell, I didn't have a daddy neither. So what that meant, I still had a college scholarship in front of me that I gave up. So identify what the problem is, then come up with a solution. That's my stand.
Awesome. And that's what this program is all about, is to show people, especially if you have anybody out there, if you have people that are coming home, then send them this way. Watch it for them. Show them this program, this platform. We have a bunch of shows on different topics, but this is our only topic that touches, only show that touches on this topic in this particular issue. And you guys are shining examples of what we're trying to show people, that, once paid, a debt is no longer a debt, and that you can rebuild your life. You guys, we're proud of you guys because, Morris, I see everything that you do here. I volunteer with you. It was a shining example of just re-entering into society and knowing that your debt was paid to society, but you have a debt to the community. And that's what we feel. And these are the things that we do in everything that we do out here every day. Brother Garrett, CEO program is such a great program. And hey, if these people are wanting to talk, all they can do is talk. We're showing them that we're marching forward, and it doesn't matter about what we did 30 years ago. My crime was 30 years ago. 30 years ago.
Right.
30 years and 3 months ago. When I entered the system. So we are examples of what is right. Look at Brother Campbell come home after 26 years and he's leading. He's leading. He's not going back in trying to do anything. Look at AB up there, 3 businesses he's running. He's in one of them now. Y'all can see he's in the background. If you can hustle, you can get out and hustle now. If you hustled back then, one thing about it, if COVID didn't teach you, if you couldn't hustle in COVID, you were never meant to be a hustler. Hustling is in you, so.
Hey, if I can, Julius, let me, cause I like what AB has said, incarceration to incorporation. I want Dr. Garrett and also Brother Moore, I want you to speak, segue right there with that title. You were incarcerated. Now you have an incorporation, be it a business or an organization. I want you to speak to the viewers specifically about your organization and tell us what you do, how you do it, and how it's beneficial for A, returning citizens, and B, our community. Dr. Garrett, you start first. Again, what is your organization? What do you do? And how is it beneficial for returning citizens and also this environment? And since you're in Washington, kind of segue into how that works for Savannah. And then, Brother Moore, you go.
All right. And so I kind of got multitasking right now because I have a day job. Like I said, I'm the director of the Bridge Center at Adams House, which is a one-stop shop for returning citizens, veterans, and 18 to 24-year-olds. And we have complete wraparound services for returning citizens that are coming home to Prince George's County. But my passion is also an organization that we founded called Reentry United, which is a coalition of returning citizens, organizations that are owned, operated, and led by returning citizens, and all individuals who are passionate about providing effective and efficient reentry programming for returning citizens and our families. So that includes everybody can be a part of that, right? And that's the way, and that's on purpose, because there are many people who have never slept a day inside of a cell, but who have resources and who have a passion to see effective services provided for returning citizens, and we definitely want them to be a part of it. Now, on the local level, we also spearhead an organization called the Reentry Action Network, Prince George's County, the Reentry Action Network, Washington, D.C., and the Reentry Action Network, Savannah, Georgia, where Julius Campbell is the co-chair of that organization. We are bringing together nonprofits for the purpose of helping them to develop the capacity and the understanding of how to get connected with the multitude of resources that are available for reentry programming. There's more money available for reentry programming today than ever before in the history of this country. But there are so many organizations that they have a great vision, but it's an organization in vision, it's an organization on paper, but we still have to go through the steps of formally, legally incorporating in the state. We've got to go on and get our 501c3, and a lot of people believe that that's the end, and money's going to start raining down when we get to that point. But that's really only step 3 in a 12-step process. And so we're connecting organizations with the knowledge, the know-how to become grant worthy, so that the dream for the program that you want to implement for returning citizens, that you can understand how to get you connected with the resources.
Awesome.
Okay. Well,
Mr. Mo?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a community base for the senior citizen group, as well as the children in high school down to elementary school. Those are my target base. And in that group, you know, because of my generation, I'm 55 years old, and in the 35-year-old, so that 20-year group right there, we seem to have this issue of taking our babies and dropping them off to grandma's house. But we don't drop no resources off with the baby. We just drop the baby off. So, so what I did was I took a hold of all the grandmas and grandpas and the aunts that has these children, and I started providing them with that necessary food that cut down the budget, because you're already on a fixed income. And as my mother liked to say, she used to tell me all the time, she said, son, if this hand can't reach this hand, there's a big gap in between.
Right.
So if you have $100 and you got 5 people, when you do the math on that, you really don't have but $5 left off each 20, because it's going to take at least $20, $15 to negotiate a life. That's food, that's housing, that's utilities, that's water. And each individual is going to use up a certain amount of that. So now grandma don't have no more resources. You're not dropping off no dollars. You just dropped off the kid. So what grandma resources become now is very limited. So what I did was I gave them a place in the community, which before COVID, it was a walking distance. Now we have to use the social distancing, the 6 feet and all that. So now it's a vehicle. You got to have a drive-through. So I allow 2 to 3 families to be in one vehicle, because that's not the issue. It's just the fact that we have to keep it moving. But the resources that I have obtained is through various grocery stores, and say I may have to pay 22 cents a pound for the meats. And for the last 12 years, I took care of this burden on my own. Now, let me give you a little history. In 2004, when I made my transition after 4 years of, you know, coming up to my parole date, and I was totally free by 2005, I started a trucking company. I had bought me an 18-wheeler truck. And in 24 months, I was on my 3rd truck. So what I would do was I would hire guys that was coming out of prison first and give them a free reign of opportunity to make money, as much as money you want. You could work as many days you want, because when the halfway house called, you was working. Right. You see what I'm saying? So I gave a lot of guys a foothold to get back in the game. And with my resources of having a truck company, I was able to co-sign for guys to purchase a truck. You see what I'm saying? You didn't have to work for me for no longer than 12 to 24 months. Just enough for you to grind some money up, and then you can go independent. So that's what I did for 10 years. That was my sole purpose for 10 years. But now, my thing was every Friday, I took $100 to $200 off each vehicle and put it in a different savings account to use for my community activists. And that's what I've been doing thus far. But it helped a lot of people hand to hand. I cut the middleman out. And because, you know, the middleman going to want to get paid. That's going to take money off the CEO getting paid. And by the time they get down to the people, there's nothing left. Right. So that's my spiel on what I do in the community, and why I do it is because I felt like I owed the community, as Julia said earlier. I paid my debt to society. Me and society has no more relationship. The community is who I owe this to. And that's what I'm doing this for.
Right.
And,
Let me say this, man. Let me say this.
WeLoveCanPark.com.
Say that again, Mo.
WeLoveCanPark.com is my organization name.
Okay. All right, great. What I was going to say, man, each and every one of y'all, you all, bro, y'all, man, y'all, my inspiration. You know, when I was incarcerated, this is the same reason why when I came home, I wanted to start Incarceration to Incorporation. So gentlemen like yourselves can spread the story, man, and give the inspiration to other people. Your story is about how you transition back into society and how the situation that you went into that led you being incarcerated. I know Mr. Campbell, you spoke on it earlier, you know, about the things that led you, and Dr. Garrett, the things that led you, and as well as yourself, Mo, it's about the things that led you into the prison system, but it ain't got to hold you back. That ain't got to be the reason that, like Julia said, you know, the debt to society has already been paid. So none of this stuff that we went through is a problem for us anymore. It's about moving forward. So you all are my inspiration because, like I said, this is why I wanted to start Incarceration to Incorporation, to give people out there that's never been incarcerated, that may enter the incarceration passageway, to let them know, man, that it's not over once you receive that time. Go in, like you said earlier, do that time, but don't let the time do you. You know what I mean? And look at all of us now. We all did our time. We came home, and look at us, the success. We have a success story.
Yeah.
And the success story here on this show every Friday from 6 to 7, the people that's viewing in, they gravitating to it. So that all in itself helped the recidivism. You know what I'm saying? We right now are bridging the gap. We right now are changing the views of how people see people going back and forth to the incarceration or being locked up. We helping it. So again, man, you all are my inspiration. The reason why I started this, and we're gonna bring on more brothers to talk about their transition back into society. Me and Julius Hall, we got some other things, some other projects that's coincide with this. I don't know if Hall, if you spoke with Julius Campbell about this extension project that we got going on with Incarceration to Incorporation. That's gonna help a lot of people, man. Men and women, with the recidivism, gonna stop the gap of gonna widen the gap. You know, make sure that we try to prevent as many people as we could going back and forth into the prison cycle, the prison pathway, or whatever. Like I said, I'm inspired. I can go on and on and on and on, man, about what we're doing here. And Mo and Dr. Garrett, man, we're gonna love to bring you back on in future shows, man, and keep coming doing exactly what you're doing. And as far as the inspiration to me, it's gonna help me go in my community where I'm at. I'm here in Wilson, North Carolina, and it's a lot of projects that I want to do in my community, and I have yet to do it. And this show here today, listening to you brothers tell me and tell the viewing audience what it is that you're doing with your ministries, what you're doing with organizations out in the community. This right here is going to take me to my community, out in my community, and push forward with all the organizations that I want to do. And I'm going to jump forward. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man, giving y'all a story to inspire me. So I thank you for that.
That's great. Julius, you know, AB said something. He used a phrase just now, bridging the gap. And last week, you and I and Pastor Smalls were talking about what can we do as a church to hold hands, if you will, and so that there is none left behind. And I did a TED talk talking about holding hands so that we leave none behind. Well, I know Dr. Garrett has a conference that is coming up, and I would like for him to allow us to understand how that can be a reality by this conference that's coming up.
Well, one of the things, as Julia said, tomorrow we're going to be having the first National Returning Citizens virtual conference, and I put the registration link in the chat line. I'll post it on the Facebook page as well. But just to give you a kind of an understanding of some of the people that are involved in this national conference, we've got as the keynote speaker Congressman Danny Davis out of Illinois, the White House Director of Faith-Based and Community Relations, Miss Melissa Rogers, former U.S. Reentry czar, Mr. Tony Loudon, former Georgia Governor Nathan Deal, Dr. Glenda Glover. She's the president of Tennessee State University, and several others. The breakout sessions for tomorrow are going to be number 1, faith leading the way. Number 2, HBCUs on the inside and out. We're going to be talking about HBCUs bringing college accredited programs back into the prisons so that men and women can get a college degree while serving time. And the HBCUs should be leading the way in that charge. And then breakout number 3 is going to be supporting Black business and the pathways to entrepreneurship. Breakout number 4, juvenile lifers and the school to prison pipeline. Breakout number 5, my brothers and sisters keeper. We're going to be talking about family reunification. There are so many men and women that do have a place to go when they get out, but the families who are receiving them do not know exactly how to deal with the psychological issues that this individual that has served 15, 20, 25 years in prison. Families need to be educated and be prepared how to be of assistance to their loved ones when they come home, rather than sometimes being an obstacle. And then breakout number 6, so what of the research. As I said earlier, there's more money available in the reentry space than ever before in the history of this country. Organizations are doing a great job writing grants, being awarded the money. They're even doing a pretty good job providing the services. But where we're missing it, documentation. That thing they call case notes, because the data and the research, that's what allows for the reentry programming to be funded. No data, no funds. It's just that I'm sorry, but that's just how it works. And then the last one is going to be leveraging technology. In the Georgia system, tablets were given out to all 55,000+ Georgia prisoners in like 2010, 2011. Is that about right, Julius?
Yes.
We were able to email. We were able to do video visitation from the dorm. We were able to download music, download college classes on a tablet inside of a prison. But there are many states that have not embraced the technology that is available. So that will be the conversation in that 7th breakout. And like I said, I'm going to put the registration information again. The first National Returning Citizens virtual conference will be tomorrow from 11 to 4. It's going to begin from 10 to 11 with the hour of prayer. I also put that information in the chat as well. If you want to sign on and pray with us for an hour. Next year, we already have a guaranteed location we're going to be where you're at, Julius.
Okay.
Not Miami, but next year's conference is going to be in Orlando. We already got a deal on it, so be looking forward to the National Returning Citizens Conference next year, Orlando, Florida.
Wow, great. Mr. Moore, what you want to share with us? Because you see what he's talking about. We are trying to connect or build these bridges together. We want you to tell the people also how they can be in contact with you. What type of help do you need as far as bodies? Because sometimes we don't just need money, we need people to help us. So tell the people what you're looking for them to do and how they can help you.
Okay. Well, as I said, next week, Wednesday, which is the 28th, I would be at Alfred Eli Beach High School, 3001 Hopkins Street. I'll be there around 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock to start setting up. And then the truck would deliver the foods there, which we would break down and bag up, because I need volunteers to bag up the stuff and have everything prepared and ready for when the people come through the lines. We can just keep them moving through in an orderly fashion. Anytime, any person that want to volunteer, they're all welcome. Matter of fact, I have a few people, and we're going to use this also. If you have community service hours you need, I'm the guy.
That's good.
I have an endorsement that I can sign off on your community service hours. But you're going to have to come and put some work in for Mr. Mo, because I don't do favors when it come down to work. If you lazy and you want to sit in your car, don't come to my program. But if you come and just help out, I promise you, it will be well worth it. And we have a few captured pictures, so you can take proof back to your PO, your parole officer, your probation officer, to show that you was there and I signed off because you did good work. Now I have a 2 young men and 1 young lady that comes out every month, and I don't identify them because I don't want them to be pointed out, but they suit and ties, they professional people, and they come to volunteer because they have community service hours that they have to relinquish. Let's put it that way. But I do anybody from any area. I don't have no denomination. I don't care if you Baptist, Buddhist, Muslim, because food is food. A piece of chicken to me is a piece of chicken to you. If you come in there and you bring your religion, I'm going to stop you. All right. Time out. This is not the place for that. This is a place from human being interaction. We're going to go back to the basics of life dealing with Mr. Mo. I'm a simple guy. I like to greet you with respect. How you doing today? I don't want to know what you got going on, and I don't want to know your personal business. I'm asking you as an individual, how you doing today? And once we get past that, I got some boxes over here we need to break down and some food we need to pack.
Right. Right.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
Put that work in.
Put that work in. Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it.
Julius, AB, I apologize. Yeah. You know, I'm just checking in and my presence is needed. But I want to say this because I know I'm leaving these men in capable hands. Here in Savannah, every other Wednesday night, which will be not the Wednesday coming, but the following Wednesday, we have OAA Savannah. What we do at 8011 Waters Avenue, the leaders at Deliverance Prayer Tower has blessed us with their social hall, that we are able to provide a safe place, if you will, for returning citizens, because sometimes they don't just need money. Sometimes they need employment. Sometimes they need mental stability, somebody that will give them a listening ear. So on every other Wednesday, 8011 Waters Avenue, we have a returning citizen support group. And what else we do, I like what Mr. Mo said, we provide a meal. We ain't trying to fool you, but we do want your attention. So we just want you to know that you are not alone. Any returning citizen that is listening to this broadcast, you are not by yourself. You hear what Julius is doing. You hear what AB is doing, what Mr. Moore, what Dr. Garrett. And there are many other men and women here in Savannah that is providing these resources for you. So we just ask that you get this word, tell your neighbors, tell your brothers, tell your family, pass the word on, share this publication, this broadcast, so that others will know that there is help and resources. Gentlemen, I thank you for this opportunity. Signing off from Miami, Julius, AB, appreciate you. I'm leaving these men in capable hands, I know.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right.
We got about 9 minutes left, and we're just going to let you guys tell us, you know, I know everybody has an inspirational story to tell, or some motivational speech to give these guys, to give people that's returning. So We'll start with Mo first. If you want to tell the people, not to give up, hold your head up. Whatever it is that you want to tell them, go ahead and tell them.
Yeah. Well, first thing I'm gonna say, let's get away from the big I's and the little U's, because you came in this world with nothing, and if you don't put in the work, as Mr. Julius said earlier, you're not gonna get a reward. So motivate yourself to do something for yourself. Quit worrying about the other guy. Quit worrying about what you don't have, because you got to remember, when you was in that 6x9 square, you had 4 outfits, 1 pair of shoes, 1 pair of boots, 1 pair of shower shoes, and 3 towels or 2 towels. They gave you 3 towels or 2 towels to wash with. I vaguely remember, but anyway, you was limited. So gradually open up the Red Sea. Don't try to make a floodgate. Gradually take your time and reincorporate yourself. And I guarantee it will work if you just take your time. Because you took whatever time you had to do that bit. You got to remember, you got to cover that hole to start from zero. Once you cover that hole, now you start from zero. Now you go positive. That's my tip to you all.
Appreciate that.
Brother Dr. Garrett.
Well, I'm going to say that, for those that I think that there are some that who are actually still on the inside that may have access to this talk as well. And just want to say to you that regardless of your situation, regardless of your current circumstances, do not allow your past to define your future. You are in control. You were created for greatness. If you're willing to do the hard work, there are people all over this country, people like those men that are right here on this call today, that are willing to get beside you, lock arms, and help you to walk through the process of successfully reintegrating into society. The answer to so many of our issues, it is not the federal government, it's not the state, it's not the county, it's not the city, and it's not people who've never been incarcerated. The answer to our issues are within us. There are 70 million people in this country that have a felony on their record. Imagine if we came together to work on the issues of providing adequate housing, providing employment, opportunities for entrepreneurship. One of the things we're doing with Reentry United, we're creating a national database of businesses that are owned and operated by returning citizens. When I'm in Atlanta and I want to get my car detailed, I want to find a returning citizen that owns a detail shop. When I'm in Miami and I want to go eat dinner with my wife, I would like to go and spend my money at a restaurant that's owned and operated by a returning citizen. These businesses do exist, but we have to put them together in one place so that when we're traveling to these different regions of the country, we know where to go and spend our money so we can help build each other up. I know these men here remember For Us By Us, right? Y'all remember that, Fuku? For Us By Us? Yeah, returning citizens for returning citizens. We can do a whole lot if we take our nickels, dimes, and quarters and pennies and put them together. And the solution is within us. It's within you. And just keep pressing forward, and it's going to get greater later, I promise, if you're willing to do the work.
All right. Julius, Paul, give it your encouragement.
Well, I want to make sure that everybody know that we are so grateful for Dr. Pastor Leonard Smalls. He has 3 radio stations, and this broadcast is every Friday at 6 p.m. He gives his personnel, his manager at the radio station, permission to broadcast, and it goes directly into FCI Jessup. Oh. So these guys hear us. So when they are returning back, they know that they have some place to go to hear some information that they might need to make it. It ain't over. You just
That's
got to
right.
hold your head up and seek that help. Ask for help. Ain't nothing to
Right.
be ashamed of. It's something you already did. You know,
Right.
you only live once. So that's my encouraging word is to, seek the help. You don't need to go back in there. You don't have to have reentry into the system. You want to just re-enter society and stay here. And we try to give you as much motivation and help as we can, and that's our job. AB, you
My
got 2 minutes.
encouragement, yeah, my encouragement, encouraging words is to the ones that's, like you said, that's incarcerated. Preparation is one of the key elements to transitioning back into society. Preparation, meaning that prepare yourself to come home. Don't be in there, the prison system like the prison got you down and you're never coming home. You're coming home, but you want to come home back into society moving forward. So my thing is preparation. Prepare yourself to come home. If you got family, get with your family because that's the support that you're gonna need. If you don't have the family that you need, seek it from somewhere else. And like Julius, you just said, and someone mentioned it earlier. Don't be afraid to seek help. Don't make it ashamed to seek help because you're gonna need the support that you're gonna need to get out here and transition back into society because it's hell out here when you first get home. If you never experience the real hell, but you're gonna experience some fire when you come home. Like you said, Mo, we don't look for nobody to sugarcoat nothing.
Right.
Look for everybody to give you the real and to give you the raw. And them the ones that you need to get around, let them motivate you, let
Mhm.
them inspire you. Don't get with the ones that's gonna tell you that oh, it's gonna be all right, this, that, and the third. Don't get with the ones that's gonna help you move forward. So that's my encouraging words. To prepare yourself when you get home, get with the right people, network with the ones that's doing the same things that you want to do, far as change and adapt. Educate yourself on what it is that you want to do business wise, and get into entrepreneurship programs that's gonna uplift you. Get into faith-based organization and help yourself. Not get back into the prison system. So that's my take on that. That's my encouraging words, man. Stay home. When you come home, stay home. You see what the brothers up there. We came home and we stayed home.
That's right. That's
So,
right. We found a way out of no way, and some of us have more help than others, but still, you still got to make it work.
gotta make it work.
Dr. Garrett down there, he's doing awesome things in several different cities. Who would have thought? This is part of what is in our DNA is to survive. So I commend you, brother. Brother Mo, you're doing great things with the kids and the elderly, giving away food, starting organizations, being a part of the community engagement, being involved in everything, volunteering everywhere. That's great. AB, you got 3 businesses you're running, your clothing company. Oh, I got your hats right here that I done
I gotta
ordered,
get you. I gotta get you some more. I gotta get you some more.
you know,
I gotta get that mandatory grind
yeah,
is doing real good. I gotta get some of that down in Savannah, man.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna get it down here. And then
Link
with
me
this
up,
platform,
KG.
I got you, Mo. I got you.
we got 14 shows. We got 7 more starting in the next 45 days. Before June 4th, we'll have 7 more shows on. So this is a all things relevant media. You tell your people to tune into it. There there's nothing that we can't do if we put our mind to it. I'm presently
Right.
a candidate for mayor in the city I live in. So don't tell me
Congratulations
you
to you
can't
too,
do it.
man. Right.
You
Exactly.
can do it. So just do it. Don't
Yes,
let
sir.
nobody tell you can't. And
Right.
that's my closing words. We're 2 minutes over time. I'll see you guys Dr. Garrett, we'll get back in touch with you because we're going to have you back on your wealth of information, and we're going to see how this conference goes tomorrow. All right.
Outstanding.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate y'all gentlemen coming on. We'll see
Thank you.
y'all back here next Friday, man, from 6 to 7. This Incarceration to Incorporation. It was a lovely segment today, and I appreciate y'all coming on. See y'all next week. All right, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right.